Beloved, this is not an ordinary season. It is a season where the invisible hand of God moves to restore everything you thought was lost. You may look back and think of years where opportunities slipped away, relationships ended, or doors closed. But hear this: nothing is truly lost in God. Every blessing, every chance, every dream still lives, waiting for the right season of return. And now, that season is here. Restoration does not come by waiting for outer change. It begins when you shift your inner vision. What you see within is what you call back to yourself. If you walk in the memory of loss, loss will repeat. But if you clothe yourself in the assurance of restoration, life itself will dress in the garments of return. Do not wonder how, do not question when. The how belongs to God. The when is now. Your only work is to live in the end, to feel the joy of what you long for as if it is already yours. In that assumption, power is released, and life bends to fulfill it. Think not of the years gone by, nor of what seems impossible. Faith is the bridge between what is unseen and what will be seen. Faith says, "It is done," even when the evidence still denies it. And as you hold firm, the denials of the world dissolve, and the promise stands revealed. So rise today. Walk as one restored. Speak as one restored. See yourself as whole, as blessed, as complete. For this is the season where every loss is turned into gain. Every delay becomes acceleration, and every tear is wiped away with joy. The same power that called light out of darkness is calling restoration into your life. Believe it, feel it, live it, and watch as everything you thought was gone returns to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Life itself is not random. It is a cycle of seasons, each carrying its own appointed time and purpose. Just as nature teaches us that winter cannot last forever, that spring must follow with its blossoms, so too does the Spirit remind us that the difficult seasons of loss and lack are never permanent. They serve their purpose, but they are not the end of the story. When you truly understand this, you stop clinging to what has been lost and begin to prepare for what is about to be restored. This present moment is not just another season, it is the season of divine restoration, a sacred interval where God moves to return what was taken, repair what was broken, and renew what seemed beyond repair. Restoration is not merely the replacement of things you once had. It is the multiplication and transformation of them. What is given back is greater than what was lost, because it carries the wisdom you gained through waiting, the strength you built through trials, and the faith you discovered in the dark. The season of restoration is God's way of saying that nothing you endured was wasted, that every tear watered the soil of your future harvest. What appeared as an ending was in truth the planting of a new beginning. You may have walked through long nights where nothing made sense, where silence seemed louder than promises, yet even in those moments, seeds of restoration were being sown. For every loss, there is an equal measure of return. For every door that closed, there is another that now opens with greater abundance. Restoration flows like the rhythm of the tides. It comes not by human effort alone, but by divine order, arriving at the appointed time, never late, never early. And now, That appointed time is here. This is why you must not judge your life by what your eyes see today. Appearances can deceive. They can tell you it is over, that what was lost is gone forever. But divine restoration laughs at such conclusions. What is ordained for you cannot be stolen, cannot be buried, cannot be erased. It is simply waiting for the moment when your heart is ready to receive again. And now, as you awaken to this truth, you begin to feel a shift deep within, a quiet assurance that something is moving, something is returning, something is unfolding in your favor. Think of the seasons of the earth. Spring always arrives after winter, and summer always follows spring. It does not matter how long the snow lies heavy, the sun eventually melts it away. So it is with your life. The season of lack and disappointment may have seemed endless, but restoration is the law of spirit, and its fulfillment cannot be denied. When the season turns, all creation cooperates with your renewal. People, opportunities, resources, even unexpected blessings begin to align themselves with your path. This is the season where divine restoration flows like a river, unstoppable, uncontainable, and undeniable. It is not something you must chase, it is something you must allow. Open your heart, lift your vision, and receive, for God is restoring everything you lost, and He is doing it in a way that leaves you greater, stronger, and more complete than you have ever been. The greatest power you possess is not in your hands nor in your circumstances, but in the unseen realm of your inner vision. Everything you experience outwardly first takes shape inwardly, for the world you live in is but a reflection of the world you believe within. If your inner sight is clouded by fear, doubt, or memories of failure, then life mirrors those conditions. Then life mirrors those conditions. But when your inner vision is lifted to see yourself as whole, blessed, and restored, then reality must conform to that image. Nothing in this world exists for you until it is first seen and accepted within the secret place of your imagination. The inner eye is the birthplace of destiny. When you close your physical eyes and dare to see beyond the present evidence, you step into the creative workshop of God. Here there are no limitations. You are not bound by your past, your circumstances, or what others say about you. In this sacred space, you are free to choose again, to declare anew, to form the picture of the life you desire. And once that picture is impressed deeply upon your consciousness, the outer world has no choice but to bring it forth in its own season. This is why the discipline of inner vision is so vital. Many people live as prisoners of what they see externally, constantly reacting to conditions instead of creating new ones. They wait for evidence to believe, not realizing that evidence only comes after belief. The truth is simple yet profound. You do not see something because it is real. It becomes real because you see it. Your imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the channel of divine creation. What you rehearse within, you will inevitably perform without. That's a sound. To cultivate inner vision is to live from the end. Instead of dwelling on what is missing, you feel and see the reality of its fulfillment. You picture yourself in the home you desire, walking in the health you long for, rejoicing in the abundance you claim. As you do, your heart aligns with this unseen reality, and your actions unconsciously move in harmony with it. People call it coincidence, but it is the law of life. The inner picture magnetizes the outer circumstances. You must guard this vision with vigilance, for the outer world will try to convince you otherwise. Appearances may rise to contradict what you believe, but do not yield to them. Hold your inner picture as a mother holds her unborn child, with faith, patience, and certainty that what is carried within must be revealed without. The unseen is always more real than the seen, for the unseen is temporary, but the unseen gives it form. As you choose to see beauty instead of brokenness, abundance instead of lack, restoration instead of loss, your inner vision becomes a command to the universe. Life itself bends to obey, people are moved into place, and opportunities begin to appear. You are never a victim of circumstances, you are the author of them through the vision you dare to hold. Believe it, see it, and live as though it is already true, and soon the outer world will reveal the reality you first embraced within. What you call lost is never truly gone, for in the divine order of life, nothing is wasted, nothing is destroyed, and nothing is beyond restoration. What appears as loss is often only a change of form, waiting for you to recognize it and call it back into being. The blessings, opportunities, and relationships you thought had slipped away still exist in the unseen realm, preserved in perfect wholeness, awaiting your permission to return multiplied. The key is not to mourn over what has passed, but to awaken to the truth that all things are still accessible when you claim them through faith and imagination. So many walk with heavy hearts, rehearsing their losses, telling stories of what they used to have or who they used to be. They fix their eyes on the absence, and in doing so they keep absence alive. But to reclaim what was lost, you must turn your gaze inward, away from regret and toward the vision of restoration. It is not about forcing the past to return exactly as it was. It is about allowing God to bring back its essence in new and greater form. What you lost in one chapter is preparing to greet you in another, transformed and increased. The principle is simple. What you recognize, you energize. When you see yourself as empty, life reflects emptiness. When you see yourself as restored, life rushes to confirm that picture. Nothing is missing, it is only waiting in the invisible storehouse until you choose to draw it forth. Just as a seed planted in the earth seems gone for a time, buried in darkness, so too do your desires sometimes appear lost. Yet the seed has not perished. It is breaking open to produce a harvest far greater than itself. This is why you must release the weight of regret. Every moment you spend looking back with sorrow is a moment you delay the multiplication that is already promised. Instead, stand tall and affirm, what was mine is still mine, and it returns to me richer than before. When you carry that assurance, life finds a way to return things in ways you could not have imagined. Opportunities show up unexpectedly, relationships are mended or replaced with better ones, resources flow from unseen channels. The law is unchanging. What is claimed in spirit must manifest in form. Even your so-called failures are not lost. They are experiences woven into wisdom, shaping you into someone who can hold the multiplied blessing without fear of losing it again. When you finally understand this, your losses become your teachers, and your past becomes the very foundation of your abundance. Nothing has been taken from you without the promise of return. Everything is preparing to come back, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So lift your eyes and see beyond the shadow of loss. Call forth the abundance that still belongs to you. Dare to believe that what once slipped through your fingers is returning, not as a faint echo of what was, but as a greater, fuller, multiplied expression of blessing. Nothing is truly gone. It is simply waiting for your recognition to open the door and let it flow back into your life. To live in the end is to rise above appearances, and plant yourself firmly in the reality of your fulfilled desire. It is the conscious choice to no longer identify with lack, waiting, or longing, but instead to embrace the feeling of already being the person who has received what they once sought. When you assume the end, you shift from hoping to knowing, from asking to claiming, from desire to possession. The world, being only a mirror of your inner state, has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect the conviction you carry within. In these are the truth explained by the Zen. This practice is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe against reason. It is about stepping into the truest version of yourself, the one who already lives in the reality of your dream. Everything you long for already exists in the unseen realm. The house you desire, the healing you seek, the abundance you claim, all are completed works waiting for your acceptance. To live in the end is to align with this invisible truth and let your outer life catch up with what you have already embraced in spirit. When you close your eyes and imagine the scene that would follow the fulfillment of your desire, something powerful happens. Your heart begins to beat differently. Your thoughts begin to shift, and your energy aligns with that reality. Perhaps you imagine yourself celebrating with loved ones, or resting in peace because the struggle is over, or walking with confidence because you know provision is yours. As you assume that feeling, not as a fleeting fantasy but as your dwelling place, you give life to the unseen. The outer world may for a time present contradictions. Circumstances may scream the opposite of your desire. But when you live in the end, you are not moved by appearances. You know appearances are shadows, and shadows must bend to the light of your assumption. Hold to your inner conviction, and slowly, subtly, but surely, life arranges itself to match it. Unexpected opportunities arise, people show up to play their part, and events unfold in a way that seems miraculous. But the miracle was already complete the moment you chose to live in the end. Living in the end also changes how you carry yourself daily. You no longer act as someone waiting, but as someone possessing. You speak differently, you think differently, and even your body language begins to shift. Others may not understand it, but they will sense a quiet assurance about you, a calm rooted not in what is seen, but in what is known. This state of being magnetizes the fulfillment of your desire, drawing it toward you like a river flowing to the sea. So do not dwell on the question of when or how. These belong to the outer world. Your task is only to dwell in the state of fulfillment, to feel the joy of having it now. As you persist in this inner reality, time itself bends, circumstances yield, and the outer world must bow to the inner decree. Live in the end, and you will find that the end you assumed has been the truth all along, waiting only for your recognition. Faith beyond circumstance is the ability to look at what surrounds you, acknowledge it for what it is, yet refuse to let it define your destiny. It is the decision to no longer measure your promise by appearances, because appearances are temporary and deceptive. They shift like shadows in the sun, changing from moment to moment. What is truly eternal, what holds power to shape your life, is the unseen reality of your fulfilled desire. To trust in that unseen fulfillment is to walk by faith, not by sight, knowing that what has been spoken within you by spirit is more real than what your senses currently register. Circumstances often rise as loud voices of contradiction. The bank account may be empty, yet abundance whispers within. The body may ache, yet health calls to you from the unseen. Doors may appear closed, yet opportunity is already prepared in a realm just beyond physical sight. Faith does not deny these circumstances, it simply refuses to be ruled by them. Faith says, "This is not the final word, this is not the truth of me. My promise is greater than what I see." Every great transformation requires this stance of faith beyond circumstance. If you wait for the evidence to appear before you believe, you will remain forever stuck in the loop of appearances. The law of life is that belief precedes manifestation. What you accept as true within, even in the face of contradiction, begins to work invisibly until it crystallizes outwardly. To believe after you see is no faith at all. True faith is the unseen anchor that pulls the invisible into the visible. Consider the seed buried in the soil. If you judged by appearances, you would declare it dead, for nothing seems to be happening. Yet beneath the surface, unseen to the eye, life is stirring, roots are stretching, and growth is already in motion. Faith trusts the process. Even when nothing is visible, it knows that in due season the unseen will break forth into sight. So it is with your life. The fulfillment of your promise may be hidden, but it is not absent. Every unseen movement is working toward the moment when it will be revealed. This is why faith is not passive hope, it is active conviction. You live, speak, and carry yourself as one who already possesses what you claim, even when circumstances insist otherwise. That conviction creates a magnetic pull, drawing the unseen fulfillment into form. Circumstances cannot resist a mind that refuses to bend to their illusion. They eventually yield because the unseen reality is stronger than the fleeting shadows of the seen. So lift your gaze above appearances. Do not allow the noise of circumstance to silence the song of your promise. Trust the unseen, for it is more real than what you touch or hear. Hold fast to the inner assurance, and you will watch as the world bends to your faith. Circumstances will shift, doors will open, and the unseen fulfillment you trusted will stand revealed. To walk as the restored self is to refuse to wait for visible proof before embodying the truth of your wholeness. It is the decision to live, think, and act as though the restoration you longed for has already occurred. Instead of dwelling in the memory of loss or the expectation of delay, you clothe yourself in the reality of completion. You carry yourself as one who has already received, because in the unseen realm you truly have. This shift in identity is the key that unlocks the manifestation of restoration in the outer world. When you live as the restored self, your language changes. No longer do you speak as one lacking, waiting, or hoping. Your words flow from a place of possession and gratitude. You declare abundance where others see emptiness, peace where others see turmoil, and strength where others see weakness. Your speech becomes the echo of your inner conviction, and life responds in kind. What you affirm consistently from this state of restoration begins to crystallize in form, until others see in you what you already knew within. Your thoughts also align with this identity. Instead of entertaining worry or replaying stories of what was lost, your mind becomes fixed on the picture of wholeness. You no longer allow yourself to linger on regret or fear. Each time the memory of lack arises, you gently but firmly replace it with the image of restoration. In time, your inner dialogue shifts completely, and you think only from the state of one who already has what they desire. This mental posture is powerful, for it attracts to you experiences that match your inner state. Action follows thought. As the restored self, you no longer move timidly, waiting for circumstances to validate your belief. You take steps as though the path is already cleared, the resources already provided, the blessing already secure. Such actions are not reckless. They are natural expressions of your faith. When you truly see yourself as restored, you cannot help but act differently. Opportunities you might have overlooked suddenly feel possible. Decisions you once avoided are now made with confidence. Each step affirms your inner conviction, and in turn, each step draws restoration closer into view. Walking as the restored self also changes your presence. Others sense something different in you, an assurance, a calm, a radiance that does not depend on circumstances. This energy attracts favor and opens doors because people and situations respond to the state you embody. Life mirrors your identity, and when you carry yourself as restored, life delivers restoration to match. This way of living is not about pretending or denying reality. It is about choosing which reality you will align with. The world of appearances says you have lost, but the world of spirit declares you are whole. By living from the latter, you call it into the former. Restoration is not something you wait for, it is something you walk in now. The more you live, think, and act as though it has already occurred, the sooner it must reveal itself in your experience. Beloved, this is not just another moment in time. It is the appointed season of restoration. Every word spoken today is a reminder that nothing is truly lost, that the power of your inner vision is the key, that what once seemed gone is waiting to return, multiplied. When you live in the end, when you refuse to measure your promise by circumstances, when you walk as the restored self, life has no choice but to bend to your conviction. Restoration is not a distant hope, it is a present reality. Rise with faith, stand with assurance, and receive the fullness of what is already yours. For this is the season where God restores everything you lost, and He restores it abundantly. Thank you, Note. Thank you for listening with open hearts. May you leave here today not as seekers of restoration, but as those who walk already restored.
My friends, within you lies a divine gift, one so powerful that it shapes the very fabric of your existence. This gift is not something you must earn, it is your birthright, bestowed upon you by the Creator. It is the power to imagine, to believe, and to create. Today I invite you to awaken to this power and use it consciously to manifest the life you have always desired. Within every individual lies a profound and infinite power, a gift bestowed by the Creator, waiting to be acknowledged and used. This divine power is not something external to us, nor is it reserved for a select few. It is inherent in each of us, woven into the very fabric of our being. It is the force that animates life, the source from which all creation flows. To live a truly fulfilled life, one must first understand and awaken to this sacred power within. For many, this power goes unnoticed, hidden behind the veil of doubt, fear, and the distractions of daily life. It is easy to look outside ourselves for answers, seeking validation, guidance, and solutions from the external world. Yet, the truth remains that everything we seek is already within us. This divine power is the essence of who we are, and it holds the key to transforming our reality. To comprehend this power, we must first recognize its nature. It is the creative energy of imagination, the ability to think, feel, and bring forth new realities. Through our thoughts and emotions, we shape the world around us, often without realizing it. The life we live today is a reflection of our past beliefs, assumptions, and inner convictions. Whether we are conscious of it or not, this creative power is always at work, responding to the impressions we impress upon it. The divine power within is limitless. It knows no boundaries, no restrictions, and no obstacles except those we impose upon it through our doubts and limited thinking. When we understand that this power operates in alignment with our beliefs, we gain the ability to consciously direct it. This realization marks the beginning of true mastery over our lives. It is not about controlling others or external circumstances, but about mastering our inner world, the only realm over which we have complete dominion. The process of awakening to this power begins with awareness. We must become conscious of our thoughts and feelings, understanding that they are not fleeting or insignificant, but potent forces that shape our experiences. Every thought we hold, every belief we entertain, and every feeling we nurture is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious mind. Over time, these seeds grow and bear fruit in the form of our reality. Understanding this power also requires us to take responsibility for our lives. It is tempting to blame circumstances, other people, or external events for our difficulties. However, the moment we acknowledge that we are the creators of our experiences, we reclaim our power. This is not about self-blame, but about empowerment. It is a recognition that, just as we may have unconsciously created unwanted circumstances, we have the ability to consciously create the life we desire. The key to activating this power lies in imagination and belief. Imagination is the workshop where reality is formed, and belief is the force that breathes life into it. When we imagine ourselves already living the life we desire and hold that image with unwavering faith, we align ourselves with the creative energy of the universe. This alignment sets into motion a series of events, circumstances, and opportunities that bring our vision into physical form. To harness this divine power, we must also cultivate a sense of trust and detachment. Once we have planted the seeds of our desires, we must release them, trusting that the power within knows the perfect way and timing to bring them to fruition. Worry and doubt are like weeds that choke the growth of our manifestations. Faith, on the other hand, nurtures them, ensuring that they flourish. The divine power within us is a reflection of the Creator's limitless love and wisdom. It is a reminder that we are not separate from the source of all creation, but expressions of it. By understanding and embracing this power, we align ourselves with the truth of who we are, spiritual beings with the ability to shape our destiny. When we awaken to this truth, life becomes a canvas upon which we can paint the masterpiece of our dreams, guided by the infinite power that resides within. The law of assumption is a profound principle that governs the creative process of life, offering a powerful method to transform your reality. This law is based on the understanding that whatever you assume to be true, regardless of its current external evidence, will manifest in your life. It reveals that your inner world of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs shapes your outer experience, making you the architect of your reality. At its core, the law of assumption invites you to adopt a mindset of certainty and conviction about the fulfillment of your desires. It is not merely about wishing or hoping for something to happen, it is about stepping into the state of already having received it. This requires a shift in consciousness, where you no longer view your desires as distant possibilities, but as present realities. The moment you embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you activate the creative power within to align your external circumstances with your inner assumption. Understanding this law begins with recognizing the creative force of your consciousness. Your thoughts and beliefs are not passive or inconsequential, they are energetic commands sent out into the universe. When you hold a belief with conviction, it impresses upon your subconscious mind, which in turn orchestrates the circumstances, events, and people needed to bring that belief into physical reality. The subconscious mind does not discriminate between what is real and imagined. It accepts as true whatever you consistently assume and feel to be true. To apply the law of assumption, you must first identify your desires with clarity. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Once you have a clear vision, the next step is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This means imagining yourself already living in the reality where your desire is a fact. How would you feel if your wish were already realized? Would you feel joyful, peaceful, or confident? Immerse yourself in those emotions as though they were real right now. This process requires persistence and discipline. The outer world may not immediately reflect your new assumptions, but you must remain steadfast in your belief. This is where many falter, as they allow doubts, fears, or the evidence of their senses to override their assumptions. The law of assumption operates on the principle that the inner state precedes and creates the outer reality. When you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, regardless of appearances, the outer world must eventually conform. An essential aspect of the law of assumption is the importance of detachment. While it is crucial to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you must also release any obsession or desperation about the outcome. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see it. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means having faith in the unseen forces working on your behalf. The more you trust the process, the faster and more effortlessly your assumptions will manifest. Gratitude also plays a vital role in reinforcing your assumptions. When you feel grateful for your desires as though they have already been realized, you align yourself with the vibration of fulfillment. Gratitude amplifies the energy of your assumptions and accelerates their manifestation. It is a way of affirming to yourself and the universe that your desires are already yours. The law of assumption teaches that you are not a victim of circumstances but a creator of them. By taking control of your assumptions, you reclaim your power and transform your life. It is not a matter of waiting for things to change externally. It is about changing your inner state to match the life you wish to experience. As you master this law, you will come to realize that your desires are not random or unattainable. They are the whispers of your soul, guiding you toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools available to individuals seeking to shape their reality. It is the act of creating vivid mental images of a desired outcome as though it has already been achieved. By engaging the imagination with clarity and emotion, visualization becomes the blueprint through which your inner world directs and manifests the circumstances of your outer reality. It is not simply daydreaming, it is an intentional, deliberate practice that aligns your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with your goals. At its foundation, visualization operates on the principle that the mind does not distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual events. The images you hold in your mind's eye are registered by your subconscious as truth, influencing your beliefs and behaviors accordingly. When you visualize with emotional intensity, you effectively program your subconscious to accept the desired outcome as reality. This creates a ripple effect, shaping your thoughts, actions, and the opportunities that come into your life to align with your vision. The process begins with clarity. Before you can visualize effectively, you must know exactly what you want to manifest. Whether it's a dream job, a loving relationship, financial freedom, or personal growth, your goal must be specific. Vague desires lead to vague results. Ask yourself, what does my ideal outcome look like? What does it feel like? The more detailed your vision, the more powerful its impact. Emotion is the fuel that brings visualization to life. It is not enough to simply see the image, you must feel the emotions associated with its realization. Joy, gratitude, excitement, and peace are powerful emotional states that amplify the effectiveness of visualization. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my dream were already a reality? Then allow yourself to dwell in that emotional state. The combination of vivid imagery and strong emotion sends a clear and potent signal to your subconscious mind, which begins working tirelessly to align your external circumstances with this inner reality. Consistency is key in visualization. A single session of imagining your desires may provide temporary motivation, but sustained practice creates lasting results. Dedicate a few minutes each day to visualize your goals. The morning and evening are ideal times, as the mind is naturally more receptive during these periods. Over time, you will notice subtle shifts in your thoughts, habits, and external environment, all aligning to bring your vision to fruition. One of the most transformative aspects of visualization is its ability to reshape your self-concept. As you repeatedly imagine yourself as the person who has achieved your goals, you begin to internalize that identity. You start to think, speak, and act in alignment with your vision. This shift in self-perception is crucial. because the world reflects who you believe you are, not merely what you want. It's important to approach visualization with faith and detachment. Faith is the confidence that your vision will manifest, even if the path to its realization is unclear. Detachment means releasing the need to control how and when your desire will come to pass. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly, and focus on the joy of the journey rather than obsessing over the outcome. Combine visualization with action. While mental imagery is a powerful catalyst, it must be paired with inspired effort. Visualization opens doors, but you must walk through them. Trust the guidance of your intuition, which will become sharper as you align with your vision. Visualization is more than a mental exercise, it is the blueprint of your reality. By consistently imagining your desires as fulfilled, feeling the emotions of their realization, and acting in alignment with your vision, you activate the creative power within you. This practice transforms your inner world, which in turn shapes the external world to reflect your dreams. As you master this skill, you will come to realize that the life you envision is not merely a possibility, it is an inevitability waiting to be claimed. Detaching and trusting the process is a vital principle in the journey of manifesting desires. It is a practice rooted in the understanding that once you have set a clear intention, imagined your desire as fulfilled, and aligned your emotions with the outcome, your work is to release control and trust the unseen forces at play. Detachment is not about giving up or becoming indifferent, it is about releasing the grip of anxiety, impatience, and doubt while allowing the creative process to unfold naturally. The first step to detachment is recognizing that the how and when of manifestation are not your responsibility. Your role is to clearly define your desire, feel its reality within you, and align your thoughts and actions with that vision. Beyond this, the process is orchestrated by a higher intelligence, often beyond the comprehension of the conscious mind. Holding on to the need to control every detail creates resistance, which hinders the natural flow of events. True detachment requires faith, a deep, unwavering trust in the power that brings your desires to life. Detachment also involves letting go of the need for immediate results. In a world that often demands instant gratification, it can be challenging to embrace the patience required for the process to unfold. However, the timeline of manifestation is governed by perfect wisdom. Sometimes delays occur not because your desire is denied, but because the right conditions are being prepared. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, people, and events in ways that will ultimately serve your highest good. A key aspect of detachment is learning to focus on the present moment. When you are consumed by thoughts of the future, wondering when your desire will manifest, you disconnect from the power of the now. The present moment is where your energy is most potent and where the foundation for your manifestation is laid. By living fully in the now, appreciating the journey, and finding joy in each step, you shift your focus away from lack and into a state of gratitude and abundance. This state of being accelerates the realization of your desires. Fear and doubt are common obstacles to detachment. They arise from a lack of trust in the process, and a belief that if you do not constantly strive or worry, your desire will not materialize. However, these emotions create energetic resistance, pulling you out of alignment with your desired reality. To counteract them, cultivate a sense of trust by affirming that everything is unfolding perfectly. Surround yourself with reminders of past experiences where things worked out unexpectedly or in your favor, reinforcing your belief in the unseen hand guiding your life. Detachment also means being open to possibilities beyond what you can envision. Often the universe delivers outcomes that surpass our expectations, but this can only happen when we release rigid attachments to specific details. Trust that the creative power knows the best and most harmonious way to fulfill your desire. By letting go of preconceived notions, you allow room for miracles to occur. Another crucial element of detachment is self-assurance. When you know that you are inherently worthy and that your desires are valid, you can release the need to cling to them out of fear of loss or failure. This confidence stems from understanding that your desires are not random, they are deeply connected to your purpose and potential. Trusting yourself and the process means acknowledging that what is meant for you cannot be taken away or missed. Practices such as meditation, affirmations, and mindfulness can greatly support detachment. Meditation quiets the mind, allowing you to release attachment to specific outcomes and surrender to the flow of life. Affirmations reinforce your faith and help shift your focus away from fear and doubt. Mindfulness anchors you in the present, preventing you from becoming overly fixated on the future. Detachment is about surrender not to weakness or passivity, but to the greater wisdom that governs all creation. When you release your grip on the outcome, you free yourself from stress and align with the natural rhythm of the universe. Trust the process and allow yourself to flow with it. In doing so, you demonstrate a profound faith in the unseen forces working for you and affirm your belief in the inevitability of your desires coming to fruition. This trust, combined with detachment, creates the ideal environment for your dreams to manifest with grace and ease. Gratitude is a transformative force that amplifies the power of manifestation, unlocking a state of alignment with abundance and fulfillment. It goes beyond a mere polite acknowledgement of the good in one's life. It is a profound energy that shapes your inner world and influences the reality you experience. Gratitude acts as a bridge between desire and fulfillment, creating a fertile ground where your intentions can flourish. When practiced consciously, it shifts your focus from lack to abundance, amplifying the creative process and accelerating the realization of your desires. At its core, gratitude is an expression of appreciation for the blessings, opportunities, and experiences in your life. It is not limited to celebrating what has already materialized, but also includes giving thanks for the unseen and the yet to come. This forward-looking aspect of gratitude is particularly powerful because it signals to the subconscious mind and the universe that you already possess what you desire. In doing so, you align yourself with the emotional state of having, which is the essence of manifestation. Gratitude operates on the principle that energy flows where attention goes. When you focus on the good in your life and the blessings you seek, you amplify their presence in your reality. This is because your thoughts and emotions create a vibrational frequency that attracts similar energy. By dwelling in gratitude, you raise your vibrational state, aligning yourself with the positive outcomes you wish to experience. It is a powerful affirmation of trust and faith in the process, reinforcing the belief that life is unfolding in your favor. A significant aspect of gratitude is its ability to dissolve resistance. Often doubt, fear, and impatience create blocks in the manifestation process, pulling you out of alignment with your desires. Gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you focus on the abundance already present in your life. It replaces fear with trust and impatience with peace, fostering a state of ease and receptivity. When you are grateful, you are no longer desperate for your desires to manifest, which paradoxically allows them to flow to you more effortlessly. Gratitude also strengthens your connection to the present moment. It grounds you in a now, where the creative power resides. Often the mind becomes entangled in the future, worrying about outcomes or lamenting perceived delays. Gratitude redirects your attention to the blessings of the present, creating a sense of fulfillment that transcends time. This fulfillment is the energetic equivalent of having already achieved your desires, accelerating their manifestation. Practicing gratitude does not require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It begins with a conscious decision to notice and appreciate the small joys and blessings in everyday life. The warmth of the sun on your face, the kindness of a stranger, or the beauty of a flower can become sources of genuine appreciation. As you cultivate gratitude for these seemingly minor experiences, you build a habit of focusing on abundance, which grows and amplifies over time. Incorporating gratitude into the manifestation process involves both reflection and anticipation. Reflective gratitude is about acknowledging and giving thanks for the good you have already received. This reinforces a sense of abundance and creates a positive feedback loop where your subconscious mind becomes attuned to recognizing and attracting more blessings. Anticipatory gratitude, on the other hand, is about feeling thankful for the fulfillment of your desires before they physically manifest. It requires imagination and faith, as you vividly picture your dreams coming true and feel genuine gratitude, as though they already have. Journaling is a powerful tool for cultivating gratitude. Taking a few moments each day to write down what you are grateful for reinforces a mindset of appreciation. Another effective practice is starting or ending your day with a gratitude meditation, where you focus on the things you are thankful for and visualize the fulfillment of your desires with heartfelt appreciation. These practices help reprogram your mind to seek and expect positivity and abundance. Gratitude is a dynamic force that not only amplifies the process of manifestation, but also transforms your overall experience of life. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, allowing you to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It fosters resilience by reminding you of the good that exists even in challenging times. And most importantly, it aligns your inner state with the energy of fulfillment, opening the doors for your dreams to materialize with grace and ease. Through gratitude, you become a magnet for the life you desire, celebrating each moment as a step toward the realization of your highest potential. Life often presents us with circumstances that seem immovable challenges, setbacks, and realities that appear to dictate the limits of our success, happiness, or peace of mind. But what if I told you that the circumstances surrounding you have no real power over you unless you give it to them? What if the things you see as obstacles are merely reflections of what you believe to be true? Today, we're going to explore a profound truth: your circumstances are not your destiny. They are fleeting, ever-changing, and entirely malleable to the power of your mind. The moment you stop giving attention to what is and instead focus on what could be, everything begins to shift. So, if you've ever felt stuck, defeated, or held captive by your environment, stay with me. We're about to unravel how you can transcend any situation and create the life you truly desire. You're standing in a room with no doors, no windows, just four walls surrounding you. It feels inescapable. You might think this is where I'm stuck. But then something strange happens. You close your eyes, and in your imagination you begin to see a door where there wasn't one before. You visualize a path leading you out of the room. When you open your eyes, something inside you knows deep down that the door exists, even if you can't see it yet. This is the power of perspective, the power of belief. Now, let me ask you this: are your current circumstances any different from that room? You might look at your bank account and think, this is it, or maybe your health, your relationships, or your career seems stagnant, like those four walls. But what if the walls were never real? What if the limitations you're experiencing are only there because you've accepted them as immovable? Here's the truth: most people miss circumstances only hold power if you give them attention. The moment you shift your focus from what is to what could be, those walls start to crumble. Let me take you deeper into this idea, because it's not just theory, it's a transformative practice. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see how the reality you want is already within reach, waiting for you to claim it. Circumstances are like clouds passing through the sky, ever-changing, fleeting, and powerless to remain unless you fix your gaze on them. The life you live today is not a life sentence, it is simply a snapshot of the beliefs you've held up to this moment. Every condition you face, no matter how overwhelming or oppressive, is temporary by its very nature. The challenge is not in changing the circumstances, it's in believing that they can change. Think about this: the most successful individuals, the most resilient people, did not achieve greatness because they were handed perfect conditions. They started where you are, with obstacles, setbacks, and so-called immovable barriers. What made the difference was their refusal to accept those conditions as permanent. The only thing permanent is your inner state, and when that state changes, the outer conditions must follow. Consider the seasons. Winter may seem endless, but spring always comes. It is not your job to fight the winter or resist its cold embrace. Your job is to prepare yourself for the inevitable arrival of spring. In the same way, the circumstances you face now, whether it's financial hardship, a broken relationship, or a stagnant career, are not your final chapter. They are the winter before your spring. Many people surrender to the illusion of permanence because they see only what is visible to their senses. But let me remind you, the visible world is nothing more than the byproduct of your inner world. What you see today is simply the manifestation of yesterday's thoughts and beliefs. If you allow yourself to believe that your current circumstances are fixed, you give them permission to linger. But the moment you truly decide that they are temporary, you set a new process in motion. Imagine a mountain climber standing at the base of a towering peak. The height may seem insurmountable, the path treacherous, but the climber knows this truth: the mountain is not eternal. With each step, the peak draws closer, the obstacles diminish, and the once unthinkable becomes inevitable. You too are that climber. Your circumstances are the mountain, and though they may appear formidable, they are no match for the power within you to rise above them. So, don't attach yourself to the difficulty of the present moment. Don't let temporary setbacks define your future. Circumstances are merely the backdrop of your life, they are not the script. And here's the secret: the pen to rewrite that script is already in your hand. All you need to do is stop fixating on what is and start focusing on what you want to create. Your circumstances are waiting for you to outgrow them. They're like an old pair of shoes that no longer fit. You don't mourn the loss of those shoes, you step into something new. In the same way, every difficulty you face today is an invitation to rise, to expand, and to step into a higher version of yourself. Never forget, the power to transcend your circumstances does not lie outside you, it lies within. Circumstances are temporary because you are eternal, and nothing external has the power to outlast the force of your will, your imagination, and your belief in what's possible. What you focus on expands. This is not just a catchy phrase or a motivational mantra, it's a universal truth that governs your life. Your focus is the architect of your reality, the painter of your experience, the builder of your future. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, and what you give energy to, you bring to life. Think of your mind as a magnifying glass. Whatever you point it at, you intensify. If you focus on problems, they grow larger and more consuming. If you focus on possibilities, they begin to take shape, opening doors where there were once walls. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law of cause and effect. Your thoughts, powered by focus, are the seeds you plant in the soil of reality. Whether you nurture weeds or flowers is entirely up to you. Here's the challenge: most people allow their focus to be hijacked by their circumstances. They wake up each day and immediately tune into their struggles, their fears, and their doubts. They replay the same narrative, reinforcing the very things they wish to escape. But you must understand, this focusing on your current circumstances is like staring at a wound and expecting it to heal. Healing begins when you shift your focus to health, to wholeness, to the vision of yourself free from pain. Think of a ship navigating through a storm. The captain doesn't fixate on the waves crashing against the hull, they keep their eyes on the horizon, the destination. Your life is no different. Focusing on the storm of your circumstances only keeps you trapped in its chaos. But the moment you fix your attention on the horizon, on the life you desire, you begin to steer your ship toward calmer waters. Here's a powerful exercise: close your eyes and think of something you deeply desire. Visualize it as if it's already yours. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the fulfillment of having it. Now notice what happens to your energy, your mood, your state of mind. That shift is the power of focus. It's the spark that can ignite transformation. What you focus on is not just a mental activity, it's a signal you send to the universe, a declaration of what you're ready to receive. When you focus on abundance, you invite it into your life. When you focus on lack, you build a home for it to dwell. Choose wisely, because your focus is not just a reaction, it's a creation. Let me make this clear: it's not enough to casually wish for a better reality. You must focus on it with the intensity of a laser beam. You must train your mind to see only what you want, not what you fear. This takes discipline, yes, but it also brings freedom, the freedom to create a life that reflects your deepest desires instead of your temporary circumstances. Your focus is your superpower. It's the tool that shapes your world, transforms your challenges, and turns your dreams into reality. Master it, and you'll master your life. Imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Your circumstances may appear solid, immovable, and unchangeable, but they are nothing compared to the creative force of your imagination. The world you experience is not shaped by the external conditions you see, but by the images you hold within your mind. Let me ask you this: how often do you let your imagination run wild, but in the wrong direction? How often do you imagine worst-case scenarios, replay past failures, or anticipate obstacles? This misuse of imagination binds you to the very circumstances you wish to escape. But here's the truth: your imagination does not discriminate. It brings to life whatever you feed it, whether it's your deepest fears or your boldest dreams. Imagine standing in front of a blank canvas. What you paint on it becomes the reality you live in. If you keep painting the scenes of your current struggles, you will remain trapped in them. But if you dare to imagine yourself free, successful and fulfilled, you begin to create a masterpiece of transformation. Imagination is not a passive activity, it is an act of creation. When you visualize a new reality with clarity and conviction, you plant the seed for its manifestation. Think about the inventions, achievements, and breakthroughs that have shaped the world. None of them existed in the beginning. They were born in the imagination of someone who refused to accept their current circumstances. The light bulb, the airplane, even the idea of exploring space, these were impossible until someone imagined otherwise. And just as they transformed their reality, so can you. The key is to use your imagination intentionally. Don't let it wander aimlessly, replaying the conditions you want to escape. Instead, focus it like a laser on the life you desire. Close your eyes and see yourself living in abundance, joy, and freedom. Feel the emotions of having already achieved it. Your imagination is not a fantasy, it's a preview of what's possible. Here's something remarkable: your imagination has the power to override your current circumstances entirely. When you immerse yourself in the vision of your desired reality, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as true. And when your mind believes something to be true, the world around you will adjust to match that belief. The walls of limitation you once saw will crumble, revealing opportunities and pathways you never thought possible. Your imagination is infinite. No matter how difficult your circumstances may seem, they cannot withstand the limitless potential of your mind. Use your imagination not to escape reality, but to create a new one. The power to rise above your circumstances lies within you, waiting to be unleashed. Your emotional attachment to obstacles is what keeps them alive. When you react to a challenge with fear, frustration, or doubt, you feed it with your energy. You give it power over you. The moment you detach emotionally from your obstacles, you strip them of their strength and reclaim your power. Consider these emotions are like fuel. Whatever you direct them toward, you energize and sustain. If you pour your emotions into anger over a financial setback, you only deepen the experience of lack. If you focus your emotions on worry about a failing relationship, you reinforce the discord. But when you withdraw your emotional investment from these situations, they lose their grip on you. They no longer dominate your thoughts, actions, or life. Detachment does not mean indifference or apathy. It means refusing to let external conditions dictate your inner state. It's about maintaining your peace, your confidence, and your vision, regardless of what's happening around you. Think of a tree in the middle of a storm. The wind may howl, and the branches may sway, but the roots remain grounded, unshaken. Detachment is your root system, anchoring you in strength while the storms of life pass overhead. When you detach emotionally from obstacles, you open the door to solutions. Emotional entanglement clouds your judgment and narrows your perspective. It keeps you focused on the problem instead of the possibilities. But when you step back and look at the situation with clarity and calm, new pathways become visible. You start to see the challenge not as an insurmountable wall, but as a stepping stone toward growth. Here's the secret: obstacles are neutral. They have no inherent meaning until you assign one to them. When you approach them with frustration, they become barriers. When you approach them with detachment, they become opportunities. Imagine looking at a puzzle. If you focus on the frustration of not knowing where a piece fits, you remain stuck. But if you detach from the frustration and calmly examine the puzzle, the solution reveals itself. Detachment also frees you from the illusion of control. So often we try to force circumstances to change, only to exhaust ourselves in the process. But true power lies in releasing the need to control and trusting that the situation will resolve itself when you align your thoughts and actions with the desired outcome. Detachment is not about giving up, it's about letting go of the emotional weight that keeps you tethered to the problem. By detaching emotionally, you shift your focus from resistance to possibility. You reclaim the energy you once wasted on frustration and use it to fuel your vision of a better reality. Obstacles lose their hold on you because they no longer define your state of being. They are simply challenges to be met, not prisons to be endured. Detach and watch how quickly the obstacles dissolve. They cannot withstand the power of a calm, focused mind. Every time you dwell on your problems, you breathe life into them. Problems are like shadows, they have no substance of their own, but they seem real when you focus on them. The more attention you give them, the more imposing they appear. But the moment you withdraw your focus, they begin to shrink, revealing the light that was always present behind them. Here's the truth: problems are not inherently powerful. They derive their power from the energy you give them. When you talk about your problems, think about them incessantly, or complain about them to others, you amplify their presence in your life. It's as though you're watering weeds in your garden while expecting flowers to grow. Your life will flourish not when you obsess over what's wrong, but when you shift your attention to what's right and what's possible. Think of a fire burning in a forest. If you keep feeding it with wood, it will rage on, consuming everything in its path. But if you stop fueling it, it will eventually burn out. Your problems are the same. Feeding them with fear, doubt, and attention only keeps them alive. But when you starve them of energy, they lose their grip and fade away. Stopping this cycle requires a conscious decision to reclaim your focus. Every time you catch yourself dwelling on a problem, interrupt the pattern. Redirect your thoughts to a vision of the solution, the outcome you desire. This shift is not about ignoring reality, it's about refusing to let the problem define you. Problems are temporary, your power to overcome them is eternal. So take back your power. Problems do not control you unless you let them. They are nothing more than invitations for growth, challenges to sharpen your character, and stepping stones to the next level of your journey. Refuse to be consumed by them. The moment you stop giving power to your problems, you reclaim control over your life. How often have you hesitated, doubted yourself, or held back because of what others might think? External opinions can feel like chains, binding you to a version of yourself that is not true to who you are. But here's the liberating truth: no one's opinion has the power to define you unless you give it permission. The opinions of others are just that, opinions. They are shaped by their own beliefs, experiences, and limitations, not by your potential. Yet so many people allow these external judgments to dictate their choices, dampen their confidence, and stifle their dreams. If you live your life constantly seeking approval or avoiding criticism, you are surrendering your power to those who have no stake in your success. Imagine you're a bird in a cage, and the door is open. The only thing keeping you inside is the belief that the opinions of others are more important than your freedom. But the moment you realize that you are the one holding the key, you can step out and soar. Living for the approval of others is like chaining your wings to the ground. You were not meant to live small, you were meant to rise. The reality is, people will always have opinions. They will judge you whether you succeed or fail, whether you take risks or play it safe. Their opinions are not a reflection of your worth, they are a reflection of their own fears and insecurities. Recognizing this truth is the first step to breaking free from the influence of external voices. Consider this: every great innovator, leader, or trailblazer faced criticism and doubt from others. If they had let those opinions define them, the world would never have seen their genius. They succeeded because they chose to listen to the voice within rather than the noise around them. You have that same choice. You can either be molded by the opinions of others, or you can be guided by your inner vision. This doesn't mean you must shut out all feedback or dismiss others entirely. It means discerning which voices align with your purpose and which ones distract you from it. Constructive criticism can be valuable, but it's your inner guidance that must take precedence. Trust that voice above all else. When you detach from external opinions, you reclaim your authenticity. You no longer feel the need to conform or shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. You become free to live boldly, to take risks, and to pursue the life you truly desire. Opinions are fleeting, your truth is eternal. Hold on to that, and let it guide you toward the life you are meant to live. Gratitude is the antidote to every challenge you face. It has the power to transform your perspective, elevate your energy, and rewrite the story of your life. When you focus on gratitude, you shift your attention away from what is lacking and toward what is abundant. And here's the secret: whatever you focus on expands. Gratitude creates a ripple effect, attracting more of what you appreciate into your experience. Imagine you are holding a magnifying glass. Whatever you point it at becomes larger and clearer. If you direct it toward your problems, those problems will dominate your thoughts and grow in size. But if you point it toward the blessings in your life, no matter how small, they will begin to shine brighter, revealing the richness of your existence. This is the power of gratitude. It doesn't change your circumstances, it changes your perception. And that shift can alter your entire reality. Start small. Even in your darkest moments, there is always something to be grateful for. The breath in your lungs, the sun rising in the sky, the opportunity to start anew, these are gifts that many overlook. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or monumental achievements. It thrives in the simplicity of the present moment. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you begin to see miracles in the mundane. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a practice. Take a moment every day to reflect on what you are thankful for. Write it down, speak it aloud, or simply feel it in your heart. The act of acknowledging your blessings shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. It reminds you that, no matter how challenging life may seem, there is always something working in your favor. Here's the remarkable part: gratitude not only changes your internal world, but also influences your external reality. When you approach life with a grateful heart, you emit a positive energy that attracts opportunities, relationships, and experiences aligned with that vibration. People are drawn to those who radiate gratitude because it is a sign of strength, contentment, and resilience. When you make gratitude a habit, your circumstances begin to lose their power over you. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, you celebrate what's right. Instead of feeling stuck, you feel empowered. Gratitude is the foundation of faith, the belief that even in the midst of challenges, there is a greater purpose unfolding. And when you hold on to that belief, you open the door for transformation. So, let gratitude be your guide. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. Celebrate the progress you've made, no matter how small. Embrace the blessings that surround you and watch how your life begins to shift in extraordinary ways. Gratitude is not just a practice, it's a superpower that can reshape your reality. Life is not meant to be a smooth, unbroken path. It's a journey filled with twists, turns, and hurdles designed to help you grow. Think about the strongest trees. They don't thrive in perfect weather. They grow in storms, bending but not breaking, their roots deepening with every gust of wind. Your challenges are the storms that strengthen your foundation. When you face a challenge, your initial reaction might be resistance or fear. But what if you could shift your perspective? Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every challenge carries a lesson, a hidden gift waiting to be discovered. It may teach you resilience, patience, or the courage to step out of your comfort zone. These lessons are the stepping stones that elevate you to the next level of your journey. Think about the people you admire, the visionaries, the leaders, the pioneers. None of them achieved greatness without overcoming challenges. Their struggles were not roadblocks but stepping stones. The adversity they faced became the foundation of their success. You, too, have this potential. The challenges in your life are not the end of the story, they are the beginning of a new chapter. Here's the secret: challenges are a test of your faith and determination. They ask, how much do you want this, and are you willing to grow to achieve it? When you rise to meet these challenges, you prove to yourself and the world that you are stronger than any circumstance. And in that process, you uncover a version of yourself you never knew existed, one that is powerful, capable, and unstoppable. But how do you turn challenges into stepping stones? It starts with perspective. Instead of focusing on the difficulty, focus on the growth it brings. Instead of dwelling on the discomfort, embrace the opportunity it provides. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and so are you. Every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. When you adopt this mindset, challenges lose their ability to intimidate you. They no longer feel like barriers but opportunities for transformation. You begin to see that every setback is a setup for a comeback, every failure a foundation for success. With this perspective, you can face any challenge with confidence, knowing that it is leading you to something greater. So the next time you encounter a challenge, don't see it as a dead end. See it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of your journey toward greatness. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to propel yourself forward. Challenges are not here to stop you, they are here to strengthen you. As we bring this journey to a close, remember this: your circumstances are not the masters of your destiny. They are fleeting, ever-changing, and powerless against the strength of your mind and spirit. What truly defines your life is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. You are not here to merely survive the storm, you are here to rise above it, to rewrite the script, and to claim the life that is already yours. When you stop paying attention to your circumstances, you unlock a power within you that is limitless. The world may try to dictate your worth, but your true value lies in the vision you hold and the belief you cultivate. You are the creator of your reality, and every thought, every focus, and every action shapes the world you step into tomorrow. Challenges will come, but they are not here to defeat you. They are here to refine you, to mold you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. Let gratitude guide you, let your vision inspire you, and let your unwavering faith in what is possible lead you. This is how you transcend your circumstances and step into the life you were born to live. So today, make a decision. Decide to reclaim your power, to stop giving life to your problems, and to rise above the opinions of others. Choose to see challenges as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Focus on what you desire with unwavering conviction, and let gratitude fuel your journey. As you walk this path, remember that greatness is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about holding on to your vision, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. It's about trusting that your power to create is greater than any circumstance that seeks to define you. The time to act is now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. They may never come. But you don't need perfection, you only need belief. Step forward with the confidence that everything you need is already within you. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor, aligning every step to lead you toward your highest purpose. My dear friends, the greatest truth you will ever grasp is that the world reflects not who you wish to be, but who you believe you are. To rise above mediocrity, to claim the life you deserve, you must embody the assumption that you are the best. Not better than anyone else in ego or pride, but the best version of yourself, unapologetically confident, unwaveringly assured. Assumption is not just a fleeting thought or a passing idea, it is the foundation upon which your reality is built. To assume is to accept something as true without requiring evidence in the moment. This may seem irrational to the logical mind, but it is one of the most profound truths governing our existence. Your assumptions dictate your experiences because they shape the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. The key to transforming your life lies in mastering this simple yet powerful principle: you become what you assume yourself to be. Every individual carries within themselves a mental blueprint, a deep-seated collection of beliefs about who they are and what they are capable of. These beliefs act like invisible strings, pulling circumstances, people, and events into alignment with their assumptions. When you assume you are successful, confident, and deserving of the best, you naturally attract experiences that affirm this assumption. The same is true when you assume lack, failure, or unworthiness. The power does not lie in the world outside, but in the assumptions you choose to hold. Consider the profound connection between your inner state and your outer reality. Assumptions are not idle thoughts, they carry emotional weight and energy. When you repeatedly assume something, you begin to feel its reality. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is the architect of your experiences. It takes your feelings as directives and works tirelessly to manifest them. This is why it is said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." To assume a state with conviction and emotion is to instruct your subconscious to bring it to life. You may wonder, how can something so intangible as an assumption create tangible results? The answer lies in the way assumptions influence your behavior, decisions, and interactions. When you assume you are the best, you carry yourself with a quiet confidence that others cannot help but notice. You speak with authority, take bold actions, and seize opportunities that others might overlook. Your assumption shapes your vibration, the energy you project, and the world responds to this energy accordingly. It is not arrogance, it is alignment with your desired state. This process works for everyone, whether they are aware of it or not. The difference is that most people assume unconsciously, based on their past experiences or the opinions of others. They allow fear, doubt, and negativity to dominate their assumptions, not realizing that they are scripting a future they do not desire. But you have the power to take control. You can consciously choose your assumptions and rewrite the narrative of your life. To harness the power of assumption, you must first identify the beliefs you currently hold. Reflect on the areas of your life where you feel stuck or dissatisfied. Ask yourself, what am I assuming to be true about this situation? You may uncover limiting beliefs that have been silently shaping your reality. Once you recognize them, replace them with empowering assumptions. If you have been assuming lack, begin to assume abundance. If you have been assuming failure, start assuming success. This is not an overnight transformation, but a practice that requires persistence. The mind will resist at first because it clings to familiar patterns, but persistence is the secret ingredient. When you continue to affirm and assume your desired state, even in the face of contrary evidence, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind. Over time, your new assumptions will feel as natural as your old ones, and your outer world will reflect the shift. The beauty of this process is its simplicity. You do not need to understand every detail of how it works, you only need to apply it. Begin to see yourself as the person you aspire to be. Close your eyes and imagine the life you desire, not as a distant dream but as a present reality. Feel the joy, confidence, and gratitude as if it were already yours. This act of assuming and feeling is the key to bringing your vision to life. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, do not waver in your assumption. Remember, the outer world is only a reflection of your past assumptions. It may take time for the new reflection to appear, but it is coming. Just in the process and remain steadfast in your belief. The power of assumption is the greatest gift you have been given. It is the secret to creating a life of limitless possibilities. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of them. Choose your assumptions wisely, for they are the seeds from which your reality grows. Assume greatness, assume abundance, assume joy, and watch as the world reshapes itself to align with your vision. The power is within you. Use it boldly, and life will respond in kind. The world you experience is a direct reflection of the image you hold within yourself. While this may sound abstract or mystical, it is a principle grounded in undeniable truth. Everything you encounter in your external life, your relationships, career, finances, and even your sense of fulfillment originates from the inner blueprint you carry. This inner image is not just a fleeting thought or a hopeful wish, it is the deep-seated concept of who you believe you are and what you believe is possible for you. Your inner image acts as a silent force shaping your reality. Like a projector casting a film onto a screen, your mind projects your self-concept onto the world around you. What you see externally is not separate from you, but is intimately connected to the beliefs, feelings, and assumptions you hold within. If you believe you are capable, worthy, and deserving, you will naturally attract situations and people that affirm these truths. Conversely, if you carry a sense of lack, failure, or unworthiness, your external experiences will reflect those inner limitations. This process begins in the subconscious mind, the part of you that operates beyond conscious thought. The subconscious does not judge or question the images you present to it. It simply accepts them as fact and works tirelessly to bring them into existence. If your inner image is one of confidence and success, your subconscious will guide your actions, choices, and responses in ways that align with that image. If your inner image is clouded with doubt or fear, it will work just as diligently to manifest those feelings into your reality. Think of your inner image as a mold. The outer circumstances of your life are the material that fills this mold, taking shape based on its design. If you wish to change the form of your external reality, you must first reshape the mold itself. This is not a matter of brute force or sheer willpower, it is about transforming your inner perception. When you shift your inner image, the outer world has no choice but to follow suit. This is a law as certain as gravity, one that operates without fail whether you are aware of it or not. The power of your inner image is evident in countless aspects of life. Consider the way you carry yourself when you feel confident versus when you feel insecure. Confidence radiates through your posture, tone of voice, and even your gaze. Others pick up on this energy and respond to it, often without realizing why. When your inner image is strong and positive, you exude an aura of self-assurance that naturally attracts success. On the other hand, an image of insecurity or doubt sends out a very different signal, one that repels opportunities and undermines your potential. Your inner image also determines how you interpret and respond to external events. Two people can face the same challenge, yet their reactions can be entirely different based on their self-concept. One may see the challenge as an opportunity to grow and thrive, while the other may see it as confirmation of their fears and limitations. It is not the event itself, but the lens through which it is viewed that makes the difference. This lens is shaped by your inner image, coloring every experience you have. Changing your inner image requires deliberate attention and practice. Start by becoming aware of the self-concept you currently hold. Ask yourself, how do I see myself? What beliefs do I have about my worth, my abilities, and my place in the world? Be honest in your reflection, for only by recognizing your current image can you begin to transform it. Once you are aware of your inner image, you can start to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Use visualization as a tool to create a new mental blueprint. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. See yourself as confident, capable, and successful. Engage all your senses to make the image vivid and real. Feel the emotions that come with achieving your goals: joy, gratitude, and fulfillment. By repeatedly visualizing this ideal version of yourself, you impress it upon your subconscious mind. Affirmations can also be a powerful way to reinforce your new self-concept. Speak positive statements about yourself with conviction, such as, "I am worthy of success," or "I am confident and capable in all that I do." Over time, these affirmations will reshape your inner image, replacing doubt with certainty and fear with faith. Persistence is key. The outer world may take time to catch up to your new inner image, but do not let this discourage you. Trust that the transformation is happening, even if it is not immediately visible. The more consistently you hold your new image, the more aligned your outer reality will become. You are not a passive observer of life, but an active creator. The inner image you hold is the blueprint for everything you experience. By consciously shaping this image, you take control of your destiny. You have the power to design a life that reflects your highest aspirations and deepest desires. Embrace this truth and let the transformation begin from within. Confidence is not an accident of birth, a privilege reserved for the lucky few, or a trait that appears out of nowhere. It is a creation, a deliberate, conscious choice made repeatedly until it becomes second nature. The notion that confidence is a random or innate quality is a myth. In truth, anyone can cultivate confidence regardless of their past, circumstances, or perceived limitations. It begins with the way you see yourself and the assumptions you hold about your worth and abilities. At its core, confidence is a reflection of self-belief. It is not about being perfect or always knowing the right answer, but about trusting your ability to navigate life's uncertainties. This trust is built through consistent practice and intentional effort. Just as a sculptor shapes clay into a masterpiece through persistence and vision, you shape your confidence by choosing to see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving, even when external evidence suggests otherwise. Confidence starts within. It begins with the thoughts you entertain about yourself. If you constantly dwell on your flaws, failures, or shortcomings, you will undermine your sense of self-worth. However, when you choose to focus on your strengths, achievements, and potential, you create a foundation for confidence to grow. This shift in focus is not about ignoring your imperfections, but about reframing them. Mistakes are not signs of inadequacy, they are stepping stones to mastery. Every successful person you admire has stumbled and fallen, yet their confidence grew because they saw these experiences as opportunities for growth, rather than as final judgments of their abilities. One of the most powerful ways to build confidence is to act as if you already possess it. This does not mean faking it in a superficial way, but embodying the qualities of a confident person in your thoughts, actions, and demeanor. Stand tall, speak with conviction, and approach challenges with the mindset that you are capable of overcoming them. When you act confidently, even if you don't feel it initially, your mind begins to align with this new reality. Over time, what starts as a deliberate choice becomes an authentic part of who you are. Confidence is also closely tied to preparation. When you invest time and effort into developing your skills and knowledge, you naturally feel more capable and assured. This is true in any area of life, whether it's your career, relationships, or personal goals. Preparation eliminates the fear of the unknown, replacing it with a sense of readiness. When you know you'll have done the work, you can face challenges with the calm assurance that you are equipped to handle them. Another essential aspect of confidence is resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. However, confidence is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about how you respond to them. Resilient people understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of the journey toward it. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. By adopting this mindset, you develop a form of confidence that is unshakable, rooted in the belief that you can rise again, no matter how many times you fall. Your environment also plays a crucial role in shaping your confidence. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. The energy of those around you can either build your confidence or diminish it. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that encourage your growth and celebrate your successes. Conversely, distance yourself from those who constantly criticize or belittle you, for their negativity can erode even the strongest foundation of self-belief. Confidence grows through consistent action. It is not enough to think about being confident, you must put your beliefs into practice. Take small steps outside your comfort zone each day, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, pursuing a new opportunity, or trying something you've never done before. Each time you push past fear and doubt, you reinforce the idea that you are capable of more than you imagined. These small victories accumulate, creating a momentum that propels you forward. It is also important to remember that confidence is not static, it is a dynamic quality that evolves with time and experience. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, and that's okay. Confidence is not about never feeling uncertain, but about choosing to move forward despite uncertainty. It is the courage to take action even when the outcome is unclear. Confidence is a gift you give yourself. It is a declaration of your worth and potential, a commitment to believe in yourself even when no one else does. It is not something you wait for or hope to acquire, it is something you create, moment by moment, through your thoughts, actions, and choices. When you embrace this truth, you unlock a wellspring of inner strength that can carry you through any challenge. You are not confined by the limits of your past or the opinions of others. You have the power to create a version of yourself that is confident, capable, and unstoppable. It starts with a single choice to see yourself as the person you aspire to be and to act as if that vision is already true. In doing so, you transform your inner world and your outer reality follows suit. Confidence is not a coincidence, it is a creation, and you are the creator. The journey to transforming your life begins with an understanding of a profound yet often overlooked truth. You must first feel something to see it manifest in your reality. This principle is not rooted in wishful thinking or blind optimism, but in the dynamic relationship between your inner emotional state and the external world you experience. The emotions you cultivate within you act as powerful forces, shaping the outcomes and circumstances of your life. To feel something is to embody the reality of it before it physically manifests. It requires you to align your emotions and inner state with the outcome you desire, even if that outcome seems distant or impossible in the moment. The key lies in experiencing the fulfillment of your desire, as though it has already happened. This is not merely pretending, it is immersing yourself in the feeling of having, being, or doing what you aspire to. When you adopt this state of mind and heart, you begin to magnetize the people, opportunities, and circumstances that bring your vision into existence. Consider for a moment the way emotions influence your actions. When you feel confident, you naturally carry yourself with assurance, make bold decisions, and attract positive responses from others. When you feel doubt or fear, your actions tend to reflect hesitation, and your reality often mirrors that uncertainty. Feeling creates momentum, it sets the tone for your behavior, thoughts, and choices. By intentionally cultivating the feelings associated with your desired reality, you shift into alignment with the experiences that match those emotions. The power of feeling stems from its ability to communicate with your subconscious mind. While your conscious mind processes logic and reason, your subconscious responds to emotion and imagery. It cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. When you vividly feel the emotions of your desired state, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to work in harmony with the universe to make it a reality. Your feelings serve as instructions to your subconscious, guiding it to bring your inner vision into external form. This principle does not require you to ignore the challenges and difficulties you face. Rather, it calls on you to rise above them by focusing on the emotional experience of your desired outcome. If you long for abundance, feel the joy and security that comes with having more than enough. If you seek love, immerse yourself in the warmth and connection of a loving relationship. These feelings are not dependent on your current circumstances, they are choices you make in the present moment. The act of feeling is a skill that requires practice. Begin by quieting your mind and turning inward. Visualize your desired reality as vividly as possible. Engage all your senses, see the colors, hear the sounds, and feel the textures of this imagined world. Most importantly, tune into the emotions it evokes. How does it feel to live this life? Let those emotions fill your being until they become your dominant state. Repeat this practice regularly, allowing the feelings to deepen and become more natural over time. As you cultivate these feelings, you may notice subtle changes in your external reality. Opportunities may arise, people may enter your life, and circumstances may shift in unexpected ways. This is not coincidence, but the result of your inner alignment influencing the outer world. Feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the unseen and the seen. It transforms abstract desires into tangible experiences. It is important to approach this process with faith and patience. The results may not appear immediately, and doubts may arise along the way. In these moments, remind yourself that the act of feeling is not about forcing an outcome, but about embodying the essence of your desire. Trust that the external world will catch up to the inner reality you have created. Your role is to remain steadfast in your feelings, even when circumstances seem unchanged. Feeling it to see it is not a passive process. It calls for active participation in shaping your inner world. It requires you to take responsibility for your emotions and to choose them consciously, rather than allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel. This shift in perspective is empowering, as it places the keys to your reality firmly in your hands. When you truly feel the fulfillment of your desire, you align yourself with the energy of that reality. The universe responds to this alignment, orchestrating events and experiences that reflect your inner state. This is not magic or wishful thinking, it is a natural law that operates whether you are aware of it or not. By consciously harnessing this law, you become the creator of your life, shaping it according to your highest vision. To feel it to see It is to live as if your dreams are already realized. It is to embrace the joy, gratitude, and confidence that come with knowing you are the architect of your destiny. As you practice this principle, you will find that your reality begins to transform, not through effort or struggle, but through the power of your inner state. Your feelings are the seeds of your future. Nurture them, and watch them grow into the life you have always imagined. The world is a mirror, reflecting back to you not just what you desire, but what you embody. It cannot give you what you merely wish for if your inner state contradicts it. Instead, it responds to the essence of who you are and what you consistently project through your thoughts, feelings, and actions. To change the reflection in the mirror, you must first change the image you hold of yourself within. When you embody the reality you seek, the world has no choice but to align with it. Embodying something means becoming it in every sense, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. It requires that you fully identify with the state of having or being that which you desire. This is not a surface-level affirmation or a fleeting visualization, but a deep and sustained inner conviction. When you embody a state, it becomes your natural way of being, and your actions, speech, and demeanor flow effortlessly from it. The process begins with self-concept. Who do you believe you are at your core? Your self-concept is the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. If you see yourself as unworthy, lacking, or incapable, the world will reflect those beliefs back to you through circumstances and interactions. However, when you choose to see yourself as deserving, abundant, and capable, your external experiences will begin to match that internal reality. The shift starts within, with the decision to embody a new version of yourself. One of the most profound truths is that you do not need external validation to embody a desired state. Many people wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel successful, loved, or fulfilled. This is backward thinking. The power lies in reversing this dynamic. Feel and act as if you already are the person you aspire to be, and the world will confirm it. Embodying your desired state sends a clear message to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This embodiment is not about pretending or forcing yourself to feel something unnatural. It is about aligning your inner state with the reality you seek to create. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Embodying this state does not mean reckless spending or ignoring your current financial responsibilities. It means adopting the mindset, confidence, and habits of someone who is already abundant. When you embody abundance, you approach life with gratitude, generosity, and trust, knowing that there is always enough. If you seek love, embody the qualities of someone who is deeply loved. This does not mean seeking validation from others, but rather cultivating self-love, confidence, and openness within yourself. When you embody love, you radiate an energy that naturally attracts harmonious relationships. You no longer operate from a place of lack or desperation, but from a state of fullness and worthiness. The world cannot deny what you embody, because embodiment is the language of creation. When you fully step into a state, you emit a frequency that resonates with that reality. Just as a tuning fork causes nearby objects to vibrate at the same frequency, your inner state influences the world around you. This resonance draws people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life that match what you have embodied. It is not a matter of luck or chance, but a reflection of the law of alignment. The key to embodiment is consistency. It is not enough to embody your desired state for a moment or two, and then revert to old patterns of doubt and fear. True embodiment requires persistence and commitment. It means returning to the feeling and conviction of your desired state, even when external circumstances appear unchanged. Over time, as you remain steadfast in your embodiment, the outer world will begin to shift to match your inner reality. One of the challenges of embodiment is overcoming the temptation to react to appearances. The external world may initially reflect your past beliefs and assumptions, creating the illusion that nothing is changing. In these moments, it is crucial to remain anchored in your new state of being. Trust that the external reality is catching up to your inner transformation. The delay is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the process. To embody something is to live as though it is already true. This does not mean denying your current reality, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you wish to create. It is a powerful act of faith and self-empowerment. When you embody your desires, you take control of your destiny, refusing to be defined by circumstances or limitations. You become the creator of your reality, shaping it from the inside out. The world cannot deny what you embody because embodiment is the ultimate expression of belief. When you fully believe in something, it becomes real to you, and the world must reflect it. This is not a mystical concept, but a natural law of life. Your inner state sets the tone for your external experiences, and the more you align with what you desire, the more effortlessly it flows into your life. Embodying your desires is a choice, a moment-by-moment decision to align with your highest vision of yourself. It is a practice of faith, focus, and intentionality. As you master this practice, you will find that the world responds to you in ways that seem miraculous. But it is not a miracle, it is the power of embodiment in action. Whatever you consistently embody, the world must acknowledge. It has no choice but to reflect back to you the truth of who you have become. The art of persistence in assumption is the cornerstone of creation. It is the quiet yet resolute decision to hold firm to your vision, no matter the evidence presented by your current circumstances. To persist in the assumption is to walk by faith, not by sight, trusting in the unseen reality you are creating. This is not merely a test of patience, but a demonstration of unwavering belief in the power of your imagination and the inevitability of your desires becoming manifest. Assumption begins with the conscious selection of a desired state. You choose, with intention, the reality you wish to experience. This is not idle daydreaming, but a deliberate act of creation. You craft a vision of your future self, alive and vibrant within your mind, and you assume it to be true. This assumption, however, is not a fleeting thought or a momentary wish. It is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. For it to grow, you must nurture it with persistence. Persistence requires discipline. The mind is naturally inclined to revert to familiar patterns and react to the external world. It may question the validity of your assumption or be swayed by appearances that seem to contradict your vision. These are the moments that test your resolve. Will you abandon your assumption at the first sign of difficulty, or will you reaffirm it, choosing to remain steadfast in your belief? To persist means to hold on, not out of desperation, but with quiet confidence, knowing that your inner state will eventually reshape your external reality. The process of persistence is not about forcing or controlling outcomes, but about alignment. When you persist in the assumption, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you wish to create. You do not waver between doubt and belief, but instead you dwell consistently in the feeling of your desire fulfilled. This emotional alignment is crucial because it impresses your subconscious mind with the reality of your assumption, prompting it to act in ways that bring about your desired outcome. Persistence does not mean ignoring the present or denying your current circumstances. It means refusing to be defined by them. You acknowledge what is but choose to focus on what can be. This choice is an act of faith, a recognition that the external world is malleable and shaped by your inner convictions. When you persist in your assumption, you send a clear signal to the universe you are committed to your vision, regardless of temporary appearances. One of the most powerful tools for persistence is imagination. Imagination is the workshop of creation, where you rehearse your desired reality until it becomes a natural part of your inner world. Through imagination, you immerse yourself in the experience of your wish fulfilled, engaging all your senses to make it vivid and real. As you persist in imagining your desired state, it begins to feel more natural, more believable. Over time, it becomes your dominant state of being, and the external world adjusts to reflect this new reality. The journey of persistence is often marked by moments of doubt and resistance. These are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth. When doubt arises, it is an invitation to deepen your commitment to your assumption. Instead of succumbing to fear or frustration, use these moments to reaffirm your vision. Remind yourself why you chose this assumption and why you believe in its inevitability. With each reaffirmation, you strengthen your conviction and fortify your inner resolve. It is important to approach persistence with a sense of ease and trust. This is not a battle to be fought or a struggle to endure, but a natural unfolding of your desired reality. When you persist in the assumption, you do so with the understanding that creation is a process, not an event. There is no need to rush or force. Your only task is to remain faithful to your vision. Trust that the seeds you have planted will grow in their own time, nurtured by your unwavering belief. Persistence also requires a willingness to let go of how and when your desire will manifest. The how is not your concern, nor is the timing. Your role is to embody the state of your wish fulfilled and to trust that the universe will arrange the details in ways you cannot foresee. When you release the need to control the process, you allow creation to flow naturally and effortlessly. As you persist in your assumption, you will notice subtle changes in your inner state and your external reality. Opportunities will arise, people will appear, and circumstances will shift, all aligning with your vision. These changes may seem coincidental, but they are the result of your persistent alignment with your desired reality. Each manifestation, no matter how small, is a testament to the power of your persistence and a reminder that you are the creator of your experience. To persist in the assumption is to embody the truth of your desire, even before it is visible. It is to walk with the certainty that what you have imagined is already yours, simply awaiting its expression in the physical world. This persistence is not an act of willpower, but a quiet, unwavering faith in the creative power of your inner world. Hold fast to your assumption and let the world rearrange itself to match the vision you carry within. In conclusion, the power to shape your reality lies within you, fueled by the assumptions you hold and the persistence with which you embody them. Your inner world is the origin of every external experience, and by aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desired state, you transform your life from the inside out. The journey requires faith, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to your vision, but the rewards are limitless. The world cannot deny what you embody, and through persistence in your assumption, you align with the natural laws of creation. Trust the process, remain steadfast, and watch as the unseen becomes seen, the imagined becomes real, and your dreams manifest in ways beyond your expectations. Thank you for opening your heart and mind to this truth. May you walk forward with clarity, confidence, and the profound knowledge that your reality is yours to create. Thank you.